We're going to look at inequalities. Let's go ahead and review real quick. In purple, that first sign is called a greater than. Remember, if we multiply or divide by a negative number, we need to flip my sign. So my greater than sign would then become a less than sign. Looking at my next one, that's a less than. If we multiply or divide by a negative number to both sides of my equal sign, that would then become a greater than sign. The next one is greater than or equal. If I multiply or divide by a negative, my sign will become less than or equal. I have less than or equal to next. And if I multiply or divide by a negative number, my sign will become greater than or equal to. Now, once it comes to graphing, we need to decide what my circle will be. If it's greater than or less than, it will always be an open circle because that number is not included. If it is greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, it will be a closed circle because that number is included. So let's look at example number 1. I have 5x plus 2 is less than or equal to 17. I know that my variable is x. Right now, I have a 5 right next to it. So I'm going to work away from that and get rid of my plus 2. The opposite of plus 2 is minus 2. I subtract 2 from both sides. My 2's cancel, and I'm left with 5x, and 17 minus 2 is 15. Now before I drop down my inequality sign, I ask myself, did I multiply or divide by a negative number? No, I subtracted, so my sign stays the same. Now I still have my variable, which is x, right next to my 5. If you have a number right next to your variable, that means it's being multiplied. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So I divide both sides by my 5. My 5's cancel and I'm left with x. 15 divided by 5, which is 3. Now before I drop down my sign, I ask myself, did I divide or multiply by a negative number? No, so it stays as less than or equal to. Now comes the graphing. I always put the number that I get as my answer in the middle. It's less than or equal to, which means that my 3 is included, so it is going to be a closed circle. I need to think of numbers to the left that are less than 3, so that's 2 and 1, and my numbers are getting bigger to the right, so that's 4 and 5. Coming back to my answer here, it says x is less than or equal to 3. So a number that's less than 3 is 2, I have 1, 0, and so on. So I'm going to shade to my left. The other way that I remember this is I have a less than or equal to sign. I need it to look like an arrow, so I'm going to draw a line in the middle. My arrow is going to the left just like I did my graphing. This next problem, I have negative 2x minus 3 is less than or equal to negative 5. I work away from my variable, so I add 3 to both sides. My 3's cancel, and I'm left with negative 2x. Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. I ask myself, did I multiply or divide by a negative? No, I added by 3, so my sign stays the same. Now I need to get rid of that times by negative 2, so I divide both sides by negative 2. On the right, my negative 2's will cancel, and I'm left with x. On the right, negative 2 divided by negative 2 is positive 1. Before I drop down my sign, I ask myself, did I multiply or divide by a negative to both sides? The answer is yes, so my inequality sign flips to a greater than or equal to sign. Again, your number that you get, which was 1, goes in the middle. To the right, my numbers get bigger, and to the left my numbers get smaller. Now it's greater than or equal to, which means that 1 is included, so it's a closed circle on 1. Now I need to think of numbers that are greater than 1, which is 2, 3, 4, so I am shading to the right. Just to double check, my sign is greater than or equal to. I draw my line in the middle and it's an arrow going to the right, just like I already said. Go ahead and try this one by the next 3 by yourself and then check your answer. For this one, I can't even touch that x plus 2 yet, that x plus 4 yet. I need to get rid of that divide by negative 2. The opposite of divide by negative 2 is times by negative 2. So I multiply both sides by negative 2. My negative 2's cancel and I'm left with x plus 4. Negative 2 times negative 6 is going to be a positive 12. I ask myself, did I multiply or divide by a negative number? Yes, I multiplied by negative 2, so my sign will change to a less than. Now I need to get rid of that plus 4. The opposite of plus 4 is minus 4, so I subtract 4 to both sides. My 4's cancel and I'm left with x on the left side. 12 minus 4, which is going to be 8. I ask myself, did I add or multiply or divide by a negative number? No, I subtracted by 4, so my sign stays the same. I now put my number that I got in the middle, which was 8. To the right, my numbers increase, so 9 and 10, and to the left, my numbers decrease, 7 and 6. My sign is just less than, so my 8 is not included, so it's an open circle. Less than, I'm going to do my arrow to the left. Try this one by yourself and then check your answer. I'm first going to do the distributive property. Negative 2 times n is negative 2n. Negative 2 times 8 is negative 16. I drop down my minus 4n and my 18. Even though I multiplied by a negative 2, in order to flip my sign, I need to multiply or divide to both sides, which I did not do, so my sign stays the same. I now notice that I have like terms, negative 2n and negative 4n, so I need to combine those. I read it like a book from left to right. Negative 2n minus 4n is negative 6n. I drop down my minus 16 and my 18. I have not multiplied or divided by a negative number to both sides, so my sign stays the same. I work away from my variable, so I add 16 to both sides. My 16's cancel and I'm left with negative 6n. 18 plus 16, which is going to be 34. Now I need to see, did I multiply or divide by a negative? See, no, so my sign stays the same. Now I divide by negative 6 to both sides. My negative 6 cancel and I'm left with n. And even though negative 34 divided by negative 6 is not an even number, we're just going to leave it like that. So 34 divided by negative 6 is going to be negative 5.6. I ask myself, did I multiply or divide by a negative number? I did, so I need to change my sign to greater than. Remember, I put my number in the front, which is negative 5.6. It's going to be an open circle to the right. Try this one by yourself. Pause the video and then check your answer. Looking at this problem, I notice that I need to combine my like terms and they're on different sides. I have a 7x and a 3x. So I'm going to bring that 3x over. Right now that 3x is a positive because there's no negative in front of it. So the inverse of negative is minus 3x. So I subtract 3x from both sides. My 3x's cancel and I'm left with 11 on the right. 7x minus 3x is 4x, and I drop down my minus 5. Did I multiply or divide both sides by a negative number? No, I subtracted, so my sign stays the same. Now I work away from my variable, so I add 5 to both sides. My 5's cancel, and I'm left with 4x. 11 plus 5 is going to be 16. I ask myself, did I multiply or divide by a negative number to both sides? No, so my sign stays the same. Now I need to get rid of that times 4. The opposite of times 4 is divide by 4. My 4's cancel, and I'm left with x on the left, and 16 divided by 4 is 4. Again, I ask myself, did I multiply or divide by a negative? No, so my sign stays the same. Remember, the number that you get goes in the middle, which is my 4. It is greater than or equal to, which is included, so it's going to be a closed circle. Since greater than or equal to, the numbers to the right get bigger, so 5 and 6, and my numbers to the left get smaller, 3 and 2. And I'm going to shade to the right.